Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Via and hope you guys are all doing really well. There's a lot of drama going on lately, especially on quarantine, pandemic, almost like things happening one after another. Okay, I'm just going to point out I might do 2 videos today, which is not what I planned to do before, but too much is going on. So, also I wish to have a fair warning to anyone who might end up being offended by what I might say in this video, because this subject is a really delicate subject and I understand completely, and I'm really empathetic towards those people. I have friends who are part of that community, and I just wish to say this right now. I stand by this community, and what I'm talking about is trans people, transgender. Recently, because as you are really aware that I'm a major Harry Potter fan, and recently j.k. Rowling has been under fire because of her comment that to a lot of people interpreted as transphobic. Okay, I'm just going to say this. I stand by trans people, but I also stand by what j.k. Rowling said, because instead of, I didn't jump on the bandwagon because I think there's more to what she wrote, and she did in the end explain herself in a lengthy paragraph blog. So, and at most, I understand where she's coming from, because but I also feel like she might have she should have worded it better when she first tweeted out, but because she didn't, people misinterpret it as her being transphobic. So I'm just going to explain to you what the whole thing, for those who are not understanding the whole situation. The thing is with trans people is that people like Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Eddie Redmayne. I'm a fan of Eddie and Emma Watson, to be fair, but and what they say is that trans women are women. That is true. Trans men are men. That is true. However, scientifically, biologically speaking, we were born what we were originally. So if you were born originally a woman, so you're most going to go through the pain of women menstruating. At most, some women will. But if you were a man that transitioned to become a woman, you might not have experienced those pain. So there's that part of the difference between trans women and original women. And I also have to say that it is a touchy subject, but also it's also complicated. It's pretty complicated as well in terms of situations, because I'm just going to say this. I have a friend who has been sexually abused, and she still has trauma, going through depression, and it's been years since then. And for those of you who has been abused physically, domestically, sexually abused, I think you will understand what I'm talking about, especially if you're a woman who were abused by men, and you feel uncomfortable, you feel triggered if a man who is a trans woman walk into a woman's bathroom. even though they never transition, or a man declare that they are trans women and they walk in the women's change room, and anything can happen. And there's always this fear. And the thing is, yes, we had to come into consideration of in support of trans people and love them for who they are, but we have to also consider the aspect of some women are not comfortable even though they accept the whole transgender situation, the whole transgender community. Some of them may have trauma and you never know it. And the thing is, I feel that this is where what j.k. Rowling is trying to explain to everyone. And also in terms of going to a doctor, or they need to know what your gender is, like what you're originally born as, with like in terms of sex. So when j.k. Rowling says sex is real, or whatever it is, what she's saying is that even though you're transgender, like trans woman or man, yes, you're still a woman and man. But like for what I'm saying is that if you're trans woman, you're a woman, yes, but originally you are a man. So at most, in a way, you kind of both. But in terms of going to a doctor and how they're going to diagnose you depending on your body type, you have to say who you're born as, because women, the treatment for women and men are different. We have different aspects biologically, so there is also that to consider. So I just want to say that I'm not trying to bash anyone. I feel empathetic for the trans community. I understand. I love them for who they are. I don't. Basically, if you're trans woman, you're a trans man. I don't care if you are, because I accept you for who you are as a person. So I don't really. That's how I see it, because I also stand behind trans community, because sometimes we get confused about who we are in terms of gender as we grow up, which I kind of noticed in some of my friends. So it's confusing, and it's really delicate subject. It's really touchy, and it's something I have noticed. But yeah, I have a little bit of mukbang. Shin Ramyun. I haven't had this in a long time. I also have some ramen egg that I made. Okay. I added this. The best way to eat Shin Ramyun is with a slice of cheese and eggs, but if you want to add meat, add meat, which I'm doing so with salami. Anyways, what was I saying? But yeah, I feel like in terms of whole transgender situation, in terms of the bathroom and changing room, I think in the future they should at most have maybe a style just for transgender. I don't know. It's just too complicated, the whole situation. Even though you identify yourself as this and that, it's just like, in terms of people who went through a traumatic experience, which j.k. Rowling did, apparently she opened up, and I feel like it is really brave for her to open up such a touchy subject that at most I think in a way traumatized her or had in the past. So Also, just want to let you guys know, those who have been through sexual abuse, you can't tell those who've been through it to get over it because the trauma is in it. And if, as a woman who has been sexually abused, I've never been sexually abused, but I have been emotionally abused by men, so emotionally and mentally. So I do understand, but in terms of such people, women who has been sexually abused, especially my friend that I told you about, do have this mindset that they think they're dirty, they're tainted, even though they're not, because of what happens. And they will blame themselves. So you can't tell someone to get over it because it's something that has happened and it has affected them really badly. And almost, you have to understand, rape, sexual abuse is not right. And if you understand that concept, think of the victims and why it's taking a long time for them to to heal slowly. It's still going to take a long time for them to heal. Just this I know. And they're really fragile, and in their mindset and spirit, they seem strong up front, but they're really fragile inside. And in consideration of the situation of the whole transgender, I think that people should consider the mindset of some women's original, even though whether they're being sexually abused or not, some of them are really uncomfortable if a man who is a trans woman walks into a change room. Some will be really uncomfortable. So there's also that factor. So it's been so long. But yeah, if you can have empathy for people who are transgender and stand by people who are transgender, I would also say please have empathy for the original women, the women that was born women, especially those. Even though you don't know if they have been or not, I must have some empathy toward when they feel discomfort in terms of the whole changing room and the bathroom situation. But otherwise, I just want to say this out because this needs to be said. People need to be aware, and what also people need to be aware is that to not jump onto the bandwagon, what happened with j.k. Rowling, and people she received a lot of backlash because of comment, even though she loves transgender people, and she's pretty much embraced them, care about them, and really empathetic about them, but also in terms of other women. As a whole in the community section. So it's just a little bit of a lesson for people, and I feel like people need to stop with those jumping on the bandwagon, follow the trend, because it's trending. Always have your own thoughts about stuff. Like, have your original, unique thoughts about stuff, not following trend. Like, almost, if you don't know the whole situation or whole reason behind it, but you jump on the bandwagon because of how you interpret someone's original tweet, then yeah, I think you get what I mean. It's why I didn't bother to jump on the bandwagon or be disappointed like majority of Harry Potter fans apparently. Just because of what the author said that was misinterpreted, even though she did not word it properly. Which tends to happen in most cases. If you don't word things properly, you end up getting backlash for it, and then there are some people who are expecting a lot and asking too much of people who has a platform. But overall, this is my intake on the whole situation. I do hope you guys understand what J.K. Rowling is trying to say, especially with the blog that she just posted out recently. I say give it a look if you don't understand, and if what I explain it to you doesn't make sense to you. I do apologize. And again, I apologize if I offended anyone in terms of this topic of transgender. It's not my intention to offend anyone. I just wish to talk about things truthfully in terms of biologically and scientifically, and also in terms of situation, I just want to say and express how others might feel, because like I said, I'm really empathetic towards every individual, especially the trans people. Like I said, I stand by the trans people, love them for who they are as a person, and I don't really, like I said, I don't really care like if they're men, transgender, women, etc. I just love them for who they are as a person. If I talk to you and I get to know you as a person, whether you're transgender or not, and I like you, then I like you. It's just that simple for me. That's how I see things. Like, I just stand by any circumstances in terms of the whole situation, whether you're transgender, whether you are gay, aka homosexual, pansexual. I accept it all. No matter the race, no matter the ethnicity, no matter the gender, I accept it. For you guys, for who you are. I just want to say that out. I do hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. I do apologize if I'm not making sense to a lot of you guys. I try my best. But yeah, please don't let what J.K. Rowling tweeted about affected your love for Harry Potter, because as a kid we started out loving the book because of the story. We loved the book because of the story, and we became a fan of it, and I feel like we shouldn't lose that love just because you feel offended by what J.K. Rowling wrote, even though it's not worded correctly or carefully. But yeah, I still hope that many of you Harry Potter fans still love your Harry Potter books, no matter the circumstances, because we fell in love with the book because we love the book. I think that's the most simple thing. It's just that lately people just tend to complicate things, and yeah, that's how I see it. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Take care, stay safe, and stay healthy.